Ever wonder why a simple touch can make a man suddenly more protective, more present, even more emotionally attached? These 5 subtle touch spots activate something primal in his brain, turning him from just a guy into your guardian. And number 3, it's shockingly powerful, but almost no woman uses it. You won't want to miss this. Men are biologically wired to protect what they value. But how do you trigger that instinct without saying a single word? It's all in the way you touch him. These 5 touch spots don't just make him feel close, they make him feel responsible for you and proud of it. Before we dive in, this isn't about manipulation, it's about connection. These aren't pressure points, they're connection points. And when used with the right energy, they'll melt his walls like butter. So let's talk about the first one. 1, the back of his neck. Let's start with one of the most powerful and subtle touch points, the back of his neck. Sounds simple, right? But trust me, this one is a game changer. A gentle touch on the back of his neck, especially when you're standing behind him, creates an instant bond of trust and vulnerability. Here's why it works. When you touch him on the back of the neck, you're literally placing yourself in a position of vulnerability. Think about it. You're behind him, in a spot where he can't see you. This signals trust, and trust triggers something deep inside him. From an evolutionary standpoint, men are wired to protect what's vulnerable. So when you make yourself emotionally and physically vulnerable in front of him by touching the back of his neck, you're activating his protective instincts. He feels needed, and more importantly, he feels responsible for you. And what's even more powerful, it's not just about the touch itself, it's the intention behind it. By reaching out to him like this, you're sending a message: I trust you to protect me. This simple action can make him feel like he's your guardian, someone who's strong and capable. And that's a feeling he'll want to hold on to. When to use it. Hug him from behind and place your hand softly on the back of his neck. Whisper something sweet in his ear while gently grazing the nape of his neck. During intimate moments, cuddling, sitting together, or watching a movie, softly touch his neck and feel the connection deepen. Why it works. This touch is incredibly intimate but not intrusive. It's a way to emotionally lean on him without saying a word. And when you do this, it not only makes him feel seen, but also valued as someone who can protect you, which is incredibly appealing. To his forearm. Next, let's talk about his forearm, specifically the inside of his forearm. This might not seem like a big deal, but trust me, it's a key area that triggers his protective instincts in ways you might not expect. When you gently touch his forearm, especially when you're close to him, it creates a feeling of connection without overstepping. It's subtle, yet incredibly intimate. This touch activates a protective reflex in him because the forearm is an area of his body that he subconsciously associates with strength and control. By gently brushing your fingers against his forearm or lightly resting your hand there, you're not just touching him, you're saying, I see you as someone strong, capable, and dependable. You're giving him a moment to feel proud of his strength, which activates his deep-rooted, protective nature. When to use it. When you're standing close to him, lightly rest your hand on his forearm as you talk. As you walk together, touch his forearm to guide him or to show you're with him. In moments of vulnerability or deep conversation, use the forearm touch to convey trust and admiration. Why it works. This touch makes him feel safe and needed, which are 2 of the strongest emotions that tie him to you emotionally. The forearm represents his ability to protect. So when you touch it, you're not only connecting physically, but also reinforcing his sense of responsibility towards you. 3, the side of his ribcage. Now, let's talk about a touch spot that's both powerful and often underused. The side of his rib cage. This might sound unexpected, but hear me out. When you softly trace your hand along the side of his rib cage, it's one of the most intimate and vulnerable areas on his body. It's not just about proximity. It's about making him feel desired and protected at the same time. This touch triggers something primal in him. The ribs are associated with the core of the body, the heart, lungs, the center of life itself. By touching his ribs, you're subtly conveying that you want to be close to him in a way that's not just about physical attraction, but emotional closeness. And it makes him feel like he has to protect you. He has to keep you safe because you've allowed yourself to get close to his inner core. When to use it. During an intimate conversation when you want to create a deeper connection. As you embrace him, slide your hand to his side gently. When you're close, resting your hand just on the edge of his ribs, signaling closeness and trust. Why it works. Touching the ribs is a quiet, powerful gesture that signals emotional vulnerability. This is a moment where he feels like he's not just physically near you, but that you're emotionally close. That kind of emotional security makes him want to protect you more than ever. Or the small of his back? The small of his back is one of the most underrated touch spots when it comes to triggering his protective instincts. It's a sensitive area that, when touched correctly, instantly increases his sense of responsibility and desire to shield you from harm. When you gently rest your hand on the small of his back, whether it's during a casual moment or while walking together, it shows him you trust him to lead and protect. This is a power move, but one that feels nurturing and supportive at the same time. From an emotional perspective, the small of his back is close enough to his core that it subtly signals intimacy, but not so close that it feels overwhelming. It's the perfect spot to reinforce your emotional connection and subtly awaken his protective side. When to use it. Walking together, gently guide him with your hand on his lower back. During a close embrace or while sitting next to him, rest your hand on the small of his back for reassurance. When he's stressed or having a hard time, gently place your hand there to offer emotional support and grounding. Why it works. This touch is gentle yet powerful. It conveys trust and reliance, showing him that you believe in his ability to keep you safe. It makes him feel both emotionally and physically important to you, and men love that feeling. 5. His chest. Finally, we come to one of the most intimate spots, the chest, specifically his heart. While this touch might be more emotional than physical, it's incredibly powerful when done right. When you place your hand on his chest, over his heart, it sends a clear message: I see you for who you are. This touch is symbolic. It says you are reaching directly to the core of him. His heart is a sacred place, and when you make that connection, he feels seen in a way few other gestures can replicate. This touch does more than create a sense of closeness. It activates his deepest instincts to protect, nurture, and cherish. He feels like the person he is with you is deeply valued, and he will want to protect that bond. When to use it. During intimate moments, hold his chest gently with your hand. When comforting him or sharing a vulnerable moment, place your palm on his heart to show emotional support. In quiet, tender moments, this is the perfect spot to create a deep emotional connection. Why it works. His chest is a place where his emotions, vulnerabilities, and strength coexist. By touching his heart, you're not just making him feel loved, you're reminding him of his responsibility to keep you close and protected. That sense of purpose makes him even more drawn to you. Each of these touch points works in its own unique way to trigger his protective instincts without saying a single word. They don't just connect you physically, they open the door to something deeper, something more primal, something that makes him feel like he's your guardian and protector. When used with intention and care, these subtle touches can create an emotional bond that he can't resist. Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching.